Good day, everyone. In this lesson, we will talk about the principles of journalism that are applicable to editorial and opinion writing. We all know that editorials are meant to influence public opinion, promote critical thinking, and sometimes cause people to take action on an issue. So, it is important that editorial writing follows its principles. Now, let me present to you the journalism principles that are applicable to editorial writing and opinion writing. Number 1. The editorial writer should present facts honestly and fully. We all know that journalism's first obligation is the truth. So, editorials should clearly and completely portray the facts. Don't expect that you could persuade the readers if you have given incomplete facts. Remember that building an editorial on a partial fact is dishonest. The editorial writer should never intentionally mislead the reader, distort an event, or portray a person in a negative way. Also, there should be no important mistakes left unfixed. Number 2. The editorial writer should draw objective conclusions from the stated facts, basing them upon the weight of evidence and upon his considered concept of the greatest good. Of course, after stating the facts, the editorial writer is expected to give conclusions about it, by which the conclusions that will be given should always be weighed upon the writer's considered concept of public good. So these conclusions should be regularly reviewed, and the editorial writer should not hesitate or to consider new information to revise conclusions. Principle number 3. The editorial writer should never be motivated by personal interest nor his influence to seek special favors for himself or for others. The problem with being motivated by personal interest is that the writer may not focus his mind to the facts. Never, under any circumstances, should an editorial writer use their position to gain favors for themselves. This simply means that accepting gifts of value, free trips, or other favors that can compromise integrity or appear to do so is unethical. The writer should hold himself above any possible taint of corruption, whatever its source. Number 4. The editorial writer should realize that he is not infallible. Infallible means incapable of making mistakes or being wrong. So, as far as it is in his power, he should give a voice to those who disagree with him in a public letter column by other suitable devices. We all know that in the principle of journalism, the citizens have also rights and responsibilities when it comes to the news, so their voices should be heard as well. Number 5. The editorial writer should regularly review his own conclusions in the light of all obtainable information. Again, as I said earlier, the conclusions should be regularly read and reviewed so that if ever the writer finds them to be based on previous misconceptions, he could correct them. Number 6. The editorial writer should have the courage of well-founded conviction and democratic philosophy of life. The writer should never write or publish anything that goes against his or her conscience. If you could still remember, one of the principles of journalism is that its practitioners must be allowed to exercise their personal conscience. And many editorial pages are products of more than one mind, and sound collective judgment can be achieved only through sound individual judgments. So, thoughtful individual opinions should be respected. Lastly, the editorial writer always should honor pledges of confidentiality. Such pledges should be made only to serve the public's need for information. So, pledges of confidentiality to news sources must be honored at all costs and therefore should not be given lightly. Unless there is clear and pressing need to maintain confidences, sources of information should be identified. The writer must make all reasonable efforts to protect patient anonymity, whether using original content or reproducing content from a primary source. So those are the principles of journalism that are applicable to editorial and opinion writing. Thank you guys for listening and good luck to your quiz.